Imagine, you're an Italian plumber on an important mission to save your love and probably the rest of the world. You just jumped over countless bottomless pits. You just got ouched by running into a saw blade which made you shrink. You just escaped countless horrible creatures. Some of them spit fire, others threw wrenches at you. In this hostile and horrifying world, even the dogs try to eat you. And then you suddenly stand in an empty room with a single P-switch. There is nothing threatening here, just a single, innocent P-switch. Would you trigger it? I don't know how I would decide in such a situation, but I know that Mario decided to trigger it, which turned out to be a horrible mistake. So hello you lovely Mario Maker ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ceave, and today we're going to take a look at Psycrows' amazing invisible pipe glitch. So you ready? Let's do this! So first, we're going to take a look at a mini level that showcases a couple of uses for the invisible pipe glitch, and afterwards we're going to take a look at how to set this up. Here, Mario finds himself in one of Bowser's many castles. But this castle is no ordinary castle, since there are a lot of strange things going on here. The very beginning of this castle features a dangerous muncher that randomly shoots out of the wall, coins that behave really strange, and power blocks that are seemingly conjured out of thin air. But this is just the beginning. It's the next room, where things start to become really weird. Here, a wiggle trigger entraps Mario in this room until it expires. Meanwhile, cannons start to drop from the ceiling, which makes surviving in this room a rather complicated task for a plumber. Mario thought he has seen it all. He survived dangerous lava worlds that only consisted of food, he survived alone in space, and he played more matches of tennis than anyone would consider to be healthy. But cannons that suddenly start to drop from the ceiling is something new. Next, a simple platforming challenge awaits him. This one is easy to understand. Just jump over all those pillars and don't get eaten by a dog. Simple stuff. The weird thing is once again that these chain jumps seem to appear out of nowhere. Then, Mario needs to make his way on top of a couple of conveyor belts. This wouldn't be too bad if it wasn't for the Goombas that lived inside the conveyor belts and now try to hurt our heroic princess saver. That's almost the end. Now only a single room with a Goomba shoe is left, followed by a drop into the unknown. But what horror will await Mario at the bottom of this pit? Are there dangerous moles down there that appear out of thin air? Or horrific lava bubbles, evil Koopas, or ouching spikes? Well, the answer is, it's just a couple of saw blades, on which Mario is able to jump because of his fabulous Goomba shoe. Or so he thought. These saw blades are no ordinary saw blades, but they live inside of some clown cars because of some evil glitch magic. Mario manages to survive nonetheless. Hooray! Okay, so what was going on in this stage? Well, it's actually really weird. So first of all, huge shout out to Psycrows. These tricks are all part of the endless list of game-breaking but awesome glitches Psycrows discovered. All these tricks were done using the Game Genie technique. So what is the Game Genie technique? Well, it's one of video gaming's strangest glitch setups. So first we need to clone forms using the standard black hole trick by deleting bullet blasters and undoing while using this setup. This clones the forms at the top. Once we have enough forms to form a black hole, we can start the setup. And this is where stuff becomes really crazy. We want to do this at the very right side of the stage. So first we place two tracks behind the forms so that they form a cross. Then we remove the forms, place down the item that we want to have in an invisible pipe, start the game, go back into the edit mode again, select the item on the cross and drag it all the way to the other side of the stage. Now we enter the underground and go back up. We move the item one block, go back to the original item, hit undo there, go back to the original item once again, tap our nose 3 times with our ring finger, select the item, drag it back to the new one and delete it there while it is still selected. And hooray! We did the setup to make an item believe that it is on tracks. This setup might look a little bit crazy at first glance, but once you've done it a couple of times, it becomes really easy to pull off. The nose tapping part is optional by the way, but I would really recommend not to skip it because of swag. Don't forget that once we did this setup with a form on tracks once, we're able to create a new black hole with the form that believes it's on tracks really fast. So there are several things we can do now with this item. First, we can put it into an invisible pipe. All we need to do in order to do so is to get a pipe, put something in, duplicate the pipe, get the item we put in out of the duplicated one, hit undo, pull the pipe over, pull out the glitched item and the item of the original pipe and hit undo twice. Now we can delete everything but our item, which now believes it is inside a pipe. Hooray! So there are tons and tons of different cool things possible with this trick. The invisible pipes are just one of the many things. We can do the same setup with a clown car to get a saw blade into a clown car, for example, or we can do the setup with shell mats and clouds to get this result. Psycrow did a huge video over at Blue Television Games where he explains how all the different setups and glitches work, and I highly recommend everyone who hasn't seen the video to check it out. It's really amazing, and everything showed there can still be pulled off. Just keep in mind that the setup for the black hole glitch changed. The link to the video is in the description. Psycrow even discovered a really awesome new trick possible with this setup recently. In our last video we took a look at this lag design which Psycrow made. Here fire flowers weren't able to spawn anymore because the absolute entity limit that Mario Maker is able to handle was reached. Once this limit is reached, the game is practically destroyed. Let's call it entity limit D. For destruction. It's actually possible to overflow this entity limit in the current Mario Maker version by copying blocks that believe they're on tracks. Here we use a donut block that believes it's on tracks to do so. We can copy this one as often as we want, since the game believes that the donut block comes from the entity limit for blocks, but it actually comes from the entity limit for entities. So once we have 500 or 600 of these blocks copied, a couple of really interesting things start to happen. First, Fireflower fireballs don't appear most of the time. Donut blocks stop to fall down. Bowser stops to spit stuff. Big Goombas don't split into two small Goombas but go poof instead. Blocks don't play their destruction animation anymore. Hammer Bros start to behave socially appropriate, and most interesting of all, everything that is set above the donut blocks doesn't load anymore. If we put the Hammer Bro one block higher, he doesn't spawn anymore. I can only guess as to why this happens, but it's probably because the game loads entities from the bottom to the top. So once the donut block is loaded, the hard limit for entities is reached and no new ones are allowed to appear. What's really interesting about this is that it also works for doors, so the door at the top isn't able to load anymore, but it can still be entered by the other one. This gives us the perfect one-way door, since it can only be accessed from one side. I'm not entirely sure how to put this trick to good use, since levels that use this will probably become deleted immediately, since we're clearly above the maximum entity limit. As for the invisible pipes glitch, as long as you don't use more entities than normally allowed, it should be possible to upload a stage using this trick, but be aware that it still violates Nintendo's no glitch policy and sadly will probably get removed. But it's definitely a lot of fun to toy around with it, nonetheless. Huge shout out to Psycrow for finding all of those glitches, for telling me about them and for finding them again once they were patched. There is a lot more possible with this setup and we will take a close look at some of these tricks in the future. I hope all of you enjoyed this little video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up, and maybe you feel especially like inside an invisible pipe today and want to hit the subscribe button as well. I hope that all of you have a wonderful day and to see you soon. Goodbye!